Hey, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's well and having a good time and enjoying the summer. Been rather hot here. But anyway, I know back in April. Start again. Anyway, hi everyone. Hope everybody's doing well and having a great summer. Been rather hot here, but I knew that I hadn't posted anything really on my layout since April, which was an update. And there were a few things I left out, so I thought I'd include those in today's video. Just to show you a few things I didn't explain. I talked about the Helix and why it was constructed with a 25-inch radius, and I'll explain that and show you the inside of the Helix and stuff. And a little bit of things that I've been managing to do, and some design decisions I made, and to why. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go on with the video here, and I'll explain all this stuff to you that I forgot. So hang on. So here we are in Lincoln Yard. This is one of the design decisions I made. I actually posted a video earlier about this where I moved the locomotive service track from back here to over here to accommodate 6 different locomotives instead of the 3 I could. As I explained in that video, a lot of the trains out here require engines, and they never seem to have enough. The yard itself holds about 35 freight cars. And so that's working out pretty well. Seems to be sufficient for running most of the layout. And this is that ITLA building, which I still haven't gotten around to building. There's a lot of other stuff going on. So anyway, that's kind of what we did in there. Now my passing sidings, for the most part, are based on the staging yards can hold about 11 cars, 12 cars, depending on the length of the the car, whatever the size. So, and 2 engines and caboose. So that limited me to all of my sidings and the minimum length they could be, I should say. So I managed to get pretty much all of the passing sidings they have are actually much longer than that, except the one down here in Hanover, Lower Hanover, which are not quite long enough. It's long enough for an 11-car train, but not much more than that. So anyway, that was a decision on that part on mine, and then you can see where the staging yard for the Penn Central goes around the back. So hold on a second, I'll take you inside the Helix here. So here we are inside the Helix. Anyway, a good friend of mine and his wife designed the Helix, and his wife was a carpenter. She built cabinetry and stuff like that. So we built the with these notches, and we doubled up 3/16-inch masonite, and scabbed them together. And then I used Kato track because it took out any undulations or anything in the track or in the masonite. If it had a little dip or whatever, that was taken out. The Helix has been really worked really well. So up to this point, I can't see why it wouldn't continue to. And the reason it's 25-inch radius is when we were cutting it out, we were telling Chris, who was the guy that designed it, that what we were cutting out, and he said no, that was wrong, to change it. Well, we changed it, and then it ended up being a 25-inch radius when it's supposed to be a 26-inch radius. So that being said, what we had to do, he figured out that if we used 24, 25 alternate pieces of Kato track, it ended up being a 25-inch radius, and you can see the wheels wiggle a little bit when you go through there, but as I said, it's not been problematic. All of the Helixes I've made from this point forward have been using 1x2 blocks, 1x3 blocks, and cutting them to the height, and then making the masonite or the roadbed a little wider to accommodate that. I find it to be easier to construct, and and a lot of different ways to do that if you don't have these milling machines to cut these notches out and stuff. So anyway, that's how the Helix is put together. I can give you a view from up here I don't think I've ever shown you, which is Upper Hanover. So and now I'm going to show you is how I mounted the upper deck to the wall. So I'll be right with you. So here we are. So what I've done, a little hard to see, I think, but back here behind this wiring, you can see a Carpenter Square. So I mounted 1x2s to the wall, and then mounted a 1x, you can see it here, I mounted a 1x2 to the Carpenter Square. And then I just set the, leveled it out and mounted it that way. It's actually very strong, doesn't move whatsoever when you when you're using it, or mounting it. And then I have the 3/16 inch masonite to hold switches and stuff like that, with a 2-inch piece of foam on top of it. So please excuse the bad wiring under here. Not one of my fortes. So anyway, it worked out really well, but it was really funny when I went into Home Depot or Lowe's and would walk out with a handful of Carpenter Squares, and he'd ask me what I was using them for, and I said, well, I need them from my model railroad. Then I got a really weird look, so. And I find out pretty well. It's already worked really, really well for me. And it keeps everything out of the way, so, braces come down or anything like that. So I really think it worked out well for me. So I'll show you a couple of the new things I'm doing on the layout real quick and some design changes. So be right back. And I have to apologize for my little bit of hacking and coughing here. My post-nasal drip today has just been horrendous. So really, really struggling with that. But anyway, this, I believe, was a Carolina Craftsman kit of the Western Maryland station in York. I was trying to find out what years it actually operated. And the building's still there, but it's gone through several iterations of ownership. But I'm taking some modeler's license and saying it's still in operation in the 1970s or early 70s. So that building in the back, actually, I went out to York, and where that white placeholder is, right in that area was a building that I took a screenshot off of Google Maps, and then scaled it up to the size it needed to be, and posted it on the backdrop. I'll do that with a few more things. It's worked out really well. I got to get that, get into photo editing and take that car out because it's too modern. But I'll work that out soon. I was just wanted to get it in place just to see how it worked. Also, the big change was this is Roosevelt Avenue in New York. So before there really was only a small road that went in here, and now I've widened it out and carried it all the way to the backdrop. So that's worked out pretty well there. Really no track changes, so I managed to get this abandoned track in here in the foreground. Showed it connected at one point, and then over here will be an abandoned industry that the track used to serve. So other than that, I haven't really gotten a whole lot accomplished. You can see the fence in the background. I got knocked down and I got to reinstall. But all in all, I mean, between the summer, which, we all have things to do during the summer with family and friends, and golf for me and that kind of stuff. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is a warehouse that I think I mentioned in my last video. I can only get one of the warehouses in. There's like 3 there, actually. So just to give the placeholder right there, I constructed it out of foam core. And just to give me a feel for how big a structure I could get in there. And I'll probably just use it as the basis for the shape of the building anyway. So, but anyway, any design changes other than that, and running trains. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great remainder of the summer, and that you all stay healthy and safe. And I don't know if I'll be able to post videos any quicker or sooner than I do, but I'll try. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed before, please subscribe to me. Not that I make money, it's just to show there's an appreciation and the people are watching my videos. So anyway, take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.